and welcome to another video. Today I am bringing you my September book haul, which is not as big as I was expecting it to be, in all honesty. The day I'm filming this, September isn't quite over, so it could grow, but I don't think it will because I need to stop spending money. Anyway, let's just show you books I got in September. The first 3 books that I got in September were all pre-orders, so I didn't actually buy them this month, and they were all pre-orders that I got with a birthday gift voucher for Amazon, so I didn't actually pay my own money for any of these, which was lovely. But yes, all releases that I was excited for, even though one of them I cannot read, but releases I was excited for and am chuffed to now have and need to get to them soon. The first one on there is One Dark Throne by Kendare Blake, which is the sequel to Three Dark Crowns. Three Dark Crowns was the first book that I ever got in a subscription box, and I got 2 copies of it because I got it in the Nerdy Bookworm box, which doesn't exist anymore and I'm still bitter about, and Owl Crate, so I do have 2 copies of that. And to be honest, that book left a lot to be desired, but it also set up for this to be insane. So I'm really hoping that it will be. If you haven't read Three Dark Crowns and have no idea what this is about, pretty much I won't tell you what this is about because you'll need to read that one. But 3 sisters are born, 3 triplets from the Queen, and the Queen dies and these 3 sisters are taken to a different part of their island depending on their power. So there is the Poisoner Queen, who has a gift for poisons, can't be poisoned, good at making poison, blah blah blah. The Elemental Queen, who has elemental powers like fire and air and stuff. And the Naturalist Queen, who is good with like flowers and animals. So 3 powers, and pretty much these sisters are set against each other because only one of them can be queen. So on their 16th birthday they start a fight to the death and the last sister standing becomes queen. Of course there are lots of other twists and turns and things that happen, but the first book left a lot to be desired, and I think the events of this book will hopefully fill the void that one left. So I have high hopes and hope to read it soon. The next book that I had pre-ordered is Fireblood by Ellie Blake. I only relatively recently read Frostblood, and I do have a book babble on that somewhere on my channel. This is obviously the sequel. I am super excited to read this, but I'm gutted at the size of it. It's one of those paperbacks that's the size of your head but bigger. Here's Frostblood. Like, look at the insane size difference. Why do they do this? Why? Frostblood follows the story of Ruby, who is a Fireblood in a world ruled by Frostbloods, and she has to fight an evil king for her freedom, blah de blah. If you haven't read it, then you can go and see my book babble where I explain a bit more about what it's about and what I thought and blah blah blah. But this is the second one and I'm super excited to read this. I loved the first one an awful lot, so I think the second one should hopefully be really good. I hope to read it soon as well. Like, I'm really excited to see how this goes and to see what happens with the relationships and the characters and blah blah blah. I'm just really looking forward to this. Okay, so my camera just died in the middle of me talking about Fireblood, so I don't know where I got to, but meh. I'm just gonna move on to the next book, which is Tower of Dawn. I cannot read this because I've only read the first 3 books in the Throne of Glass series, so I need to catch up with all of those in order for me to actually be able to read this one. But I'll get to it eventually at some point in my life. It's a whopper. I'm excited. I'm excited about everything. If I wasn't excited, I wouldn't buy it. I don't know why I pre-ordered it because I can't even read it and it will take me ages to get to it, but I pre-ordered it anyway. The next couple of books I got shortly after I had rearranged my shelves, and by shortly after I mean the next day after I'd installed my new shelf and rearranged my books, because I'm building a Victoria Schwab shrine. So I went into Waterstones looking for the Victoria Schwab books I was missing, and one that they had that I was missing was Vicious. So Vicious by V. Schwab is one that I have. Victoria Schwab has very quickly become one of my favourite authors. After reading A Gathering of Shadows, I honestly have just fallen in love with her writing completely, and I'm so pumped to read everything else by her. This one's also super short, so like, yay. But from what I know, it's something to do with like superpowers, like super abilities, and two people kind of fighting about it or something. Yeah, something about like extraordinary powers and a couple of people that were friends and aren't friends and maybe enemies and stuff. I don't really know too much about it, but I'm excited just because it's Victoria Schwab and I've fallen in love with Victoria Schwab. No shame. As I say, down here is becoming a bit of a Victoria Schwab shrine, and I'm alright with that. The next book I picked up, I, at one point in my life, said I wouldn't, and now I have. And I don't really know why I even picked it up in the shop, but let me explain. So, I picked up Blackwing by Ed McDonald. Now, there was some promotional material for this in a Fairy Loot, and I have just become a complete sap to all promotional material in Fairy Loot boxes, it seems, because I just buy all of the books. And I wasn't sure about it. I didn't know anything about it though. All I knew was the title and this raven thing. So when I saw it in Waterstones, I was like, oh, that's the one that they were advertising in Fairy Loot. So I picked it up and read the back. See, it says, hope, reason, humanity, the misery destroys them all. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So then I read the blurb and was like, oh, well, that sounds interesting. And then I read the first page, and that's my tester. If I'm interested by the back, if I'm interested by the blurb, but I'm still not completely sold, I'll read the first page. And if I want to read the second page, I'll buy the book. And that is what happened with this. I picked it up just because, oh, that was the one that they were advertising, and then wanted to read it. So exciting. Pretty much this is about a place called the Misery, which is like a barren land between like kingdoms. It's on the border of a kingdom, and it's where people go to like escape their lives. Like if they're wanted for treason or if they're on the run for some reason, they'll go to the Misery because they can't catch you in the Misery or something like that. It's where traitors, thieves and spies flee. They run for the Misery, and there is it's someone's job to bring them back. It follows the story of the guy, I think, whose job it is to bring them back, but very often... Will you shut up? Sorry, my phone. Yeah, there's this guy who has a job to get them back, but never really does because something happens in the Misery. It sounds really interesting, and I don't really know too much about it, but I'm intrigued, and from what I read, I liked it. So I'm looking forward to it, despite me thinking, oh, that looks naff. Here I am, owning it and looking forward to reading it. And then finally, the last book is one that I actually acquired today. Me, my mum and my nan went on the hunt for a little independent bookshop in a nearby coastal town, and we found it and we went in and we bought some books. I only got one, my mum got a couple, my nan got one as well, but I picked up Ink by Alice Broadway. The cover is gorgeous, and I know that G from Book Roast, when she read it, loved it. I let her know I picked it up. She was like, oh, I don't know if you'll like it, but I hope you will. Yeah, you probably will, blah, blah. So there we go. I know that she enjoyed it, so I hope I will. And the cover is just stunning. Look at all that shine. And this one, from what I know, is pretty much a story where every action in your life gets tattooed upon your skin, so everyone can like see your life story. Sounds like a really interesting premise, but we'll see where I go with it. It's just so pretty, very autumnal looking. Maybe I'll read it this autumn, who knows. Anyway, that is what I have acquired in September. Ta-da! This is my September haul. Not bad, considering 3 of them I paid no money for, and the one in the independent bookstore my nan actually got for me, so I only really paid for 2 books this month. Can you complain about that? And by buying them, I qualified for a £10 voucher with my points card in Waterstones, so I can get another book for nothing. Everything's going so well, I'm so chuffed, and I now need to put all of these on my new shelves. Yay! So yeah, that's that. If you have enjoyed this little haul, give us a thumbs up. If you want to chat to me, please do so down in the comments. Have you read any of these books? Tell me what you think of these books. Do you think I will enjoy these books? If you aren't subscribed, and fancy subscribing. I'm always eternally grateful for that. I upload every Sunday and Wednesday and some odd days in between if I'm feeling generous. And I will see you next time. Bye!